We're back.
This is it.
Close of Play podcast.
With your new intro, I'm Ollie.
And I'm Craig.
We hope you enjoy this episode. Make sure you
Like and subscribe.
tell your mother and
Let's go.
bye-bye. Look, a Chinese gong to start off with. And we're back. Close of Play.
Start.
There we are. Cheers. Look at us in our new...
tiny Rebel mugs.
I didn't even know they did mugs, to be honest, but there we go. We might be the first people to have them.
We are fully merched out.
Fully merched up. How you doing, mate? You okay?
Good.
Busy?
I just feel like everything's 100 mile an hour, and it is nice to just sit down and...
I know. Yeah. I think my seat's actually still deflating. It's been a while since we've had a proper catch up, so the air is still seeking out. But yeah, it's nice to be back here.
Yep.
The duo episode. I tell you what, some
been a while.
Absolute amazing episodes have gone out. The feedback's unreal. The guests have been even better.
It is crazy. I love that we have this high caliber of guest, and even the guests where it's maybe like a local businessman as opposed to someone who's international.
Yeah.
I still enjoy those episodes as much because for majority of people, really,
Yeah.
they're probably more relatable.
Yeah, 100%. But the fact that we've got that mix, that's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
And then obviously everybody loves our duo episode.
People won't appreciate it, but I will listen back to every single episode in the car the day after it goes live, and I listen back to it, and I still take value from it.
Yeah, I'm the same. So literally we've just had Brad Burton's gone out.
Brad Burton went out yesterday.
Yeah, I listened to that. And
I listened to that this morning.
It's so, like, forget all the swearing.
I was going to say, when you get through the Eminem moment.
Yeah, once you get like 2 minutes in, you realise actually that's just who he is. But I tell you what a guy. And the takeaways as well. And like his story, it's like you listen, whether you want to or not, you're listening and you're taking notes. Do you know what I mean? So what have you been up to anyway? Where have you been? We had a proper catch up for a while, so
I feel like I'm in Dragons at the moment. But I have done a lot of commercial work recently.
Yeah.
A lot of photography, a lot of headshots.
Nice.
There's a project that I've been working on which I can't disclose on the podcast yet.
Oh, exclusive maybe next time.
But actually we should get them on.
Okay.
Because big things are happening for their business. They're a local business.
Nice, love it.
And they're about to go.
Cool. Because you literally got the new stuff going up in the studio today, haven't you? Your new backdrops.
Got my backdrops going up, which means that we can finally start renting out this space as a studio.
Nice.
I'm going to epoxy resin the floor. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. Fancy.
So it'll be, it'll just look shiny and it'll be hard wearing.
Once you're fully complete, are you going to do like a little drone fly around video?
I don't know if it's big enough for a drone. Don't get me wrong.
I still think it'd look cool.
Everyone who comes in, they're like, oh, it looks really cool in here now. But we are kind of limited by the headspace, I feel. That's the only limitation of this space really is the headspace. Because in terms of room, there's loads of room. Yeah.
I still think it'd be cool though, just a little, you send me in all the time, don't you? Like people who've like got these little office fly-throughs and they're cool, so.
Do you know, everyone who comes into the office though, and they look at the podcast room because everyone likes to come and see where we shoot this day, every week. And they go, oh, it looks a lot bigger in the video.
Yeah. It's that clever camera work. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't want it any bigger.
It's like a bedroom sized.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah. I mean, from an acoustics point of view, it makes it a lot easier having a smaller space.
Yeah.
So there's the technical reason.
It worked though, didn't it? We had our first episode with 4 guests, which will be coming out after this, I think. Yeah. I don't know. Our schedule's funny, isn't it?
It will be. It'll be next week. It'll be episode 10.
No, will it?
No, episode 11. Episode 11, sorry.
We have this amazing, try to be as organised as possible, and then someone throws a date in the mix, and then actually everything changes. But yeah, so...
What about yourself? What have you been up to?
Loads of London, which is good.
I was going to say, I haven't heard from you too much this week.
The problem is when you work, I don't know, just forget the fact it's London. When you're working somewhere and like all your energy and focus is there, you end up getting more stuff within that area or the same kind of stuff. So you're working in London doing a job at a shopping centre and then something just literally, I think it's just timing and you think like it couldn't work out better. And then all of a sudden we're back to Westfield and we're talking to a client there and they're like, we want to open in 2 weeks. And I'm like, it's so unrealistic, but like, I love it. We're the only people in the world that would ever be like, yeah, we'll do it. Do you know what I mean? And we'll do it well. But also like 1, you're going to pay a premium and 2, like you need to meet this deadline. But that's exciting. I'll tell you about that when it's actually in. But it's for a Greek yogurt brand.
Oh, wow.
So who'd have thought the demand for,
Greek yogurt.
London's one of them places.
I was going to say, London, actually, I believe it.
Yeah, when you see it as well, like the toppings and like clay pots it's all served in. It's a really cool brand.
It's only £12.
Yeah, literally.
A serving.
Plus toppings. No, I'm not going to slag them off just in case they're listening. But yeah, it's a cool product. But London's one of them places where it's literally, you could do like bowls of cereal and charge a £5. People will go for it. They want the latest trends and they want to have the products and they want the launches. And you find a lot of the time in London as well. London. Do you know what I mean? We're Wales, but like everyone, that's their trial. So you've got brands that are massively successful all over the world, but like automatically London's their flagship, and then all of a sudden Westfield's their flagship, and it's like.
It is disappointing that you've got to go to London and it is all London. But actually, the reality is if you want a slingshot business, maybe London is the foreground of where you want to do that from.
Yeah. And I just think it's the brands that we're working with and the companies we're working with, it's like eventually we'll do something for them in Wales.
When I used to work in London 2-3 days a week, back in my Tesco days, head office,
That's like, I'm sure I've dropped something off to Tesco in the past. Like the office is like...
The actual offices.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it, the HQ?
But my point being, like, everything felt very 100 mile an hour. And I think, does everyone else have the same opinion? Like, when you go to London, does it feel very 100 mile an hour? Do you just get like caught up in that?
I think the best way to describe it without slagging anyone off is it's like ants. And do you know, like the sad reality, like for me, I've always got that, like this week was a bit hard because there for like 3 days. So like all your week's gone kind of thing. So like we're playing catch up. But like you look at people as they're walking past you and it's like, no one's smiling.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be somewhere. Everyone's running late. Everyone's rushing. Someone's trying to sell you an iPhone that they just robbed off someone. Like that's the streets of London.
Everyone's got the AirPods on. They're all focused on where they've got to go. They're looking through people, not at people, and boom. Where I'm there and I'm like trying to take it all in. I'm looking at different people and everyone's got like unique little fashion sense. And
I think you can enjoy London if you know you're coming back to Wales.
Yeah.
Or where, do you know what I mean? London is amazing in short bursts.
Yeah, because I used to be put up in London for long periods, and actually I'd enjoy coming back as much as I'd enjoy going back. Yeah. So it was almost like two different lives I used to have.
Yeah, 100%. And the stuff that happens there is amazing, but actually, like, I
didn't miss £10 a pint though.
No, Jesus Christ. Me and Nick had the 2 pints, like 17 quid. And at that point, it's just like the job's going to cost. The job's going to cost more because it's costing me 100 quid a day in coffees. I tell you what though, that you know Pret. So literally every other shop in London's a Pret. That subscription service you have. I think I was the only person in London who didn't have it. So you pay like £20-25 a month and you get like coffee every day. Or I think a couple of coffees a day.
Was it?
It's so cheap. And like, what a market for that.
Yeah, £30 subscription.
Yeah.
Actually, when you think about it and you weigh that up, Starbucks is like £6 a go.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe one of the guys, he's not a coffee snob like me. He was like, I'll just have a latte from Costa. And I was like, I'll have a large latte, please. And like £4.40.
Right.
For like a pint of hot milk with an espresso in the top.
Robbery.
Not for me. I like the small independents anyway.
Do they not do the subscription service here then?
Yeah, they do, but there's just not. London's mad. Like there's so many Prets. Obviously, there's a Pret in Cardiff. Like if you work near a Pret, amazing. Look at us. Like Pret aren't giving us any money. What are we doing here? But anyway, their idea, and especially in London, it's a great concept.
There is literally a subscription for everything now, though.
Yeah, you get clothes delivered, don't you? Is it Moss Bros or something? Are you still doing that?
You've given up the game away now. Basically, if you've ever seen me in a suit in the last few weeks, it's a rental.
Yeah, but that allows you to kind of have the latest nice one that you'd have to pay for.
But yeah, you wear it, you send it back, you don't even wash it, and then they send you whatever else is in your wardrobe. They then send you the next item.
That's cool.
And you can prioritize things. And yeah, so for every event I go to now, I can have a new suit, a Moss suit.
Yeah.
And you pay £50 a month, which I think is a good deal.
Yeah. I don't even know how much a suit
You can put it through the business as an expense.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good thing.
If you don't have to wash it as well, dry clean is like 20 quid, isn't it?
Because from a guy point of view, no one really wants. I used to own loads of suits, and now I just think I'm quite happy in my loungewear. You may have noticed.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to own and keep and maintain lots of suits. And suits can be expensive. A tailored suit minimum £300 starting.
Yeah.
And actually for 50 quid a month now, you can have it, send it back, have another one, send it back, have another one, send it back.
That's good. Especially if you don't have to wash it. And for you, it's like sometimes you might need to, especially for like a wedding or something.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer when you're doing all these nice weddings in Italy.
I definitely won't be doing any suits for weddings.
No.
The more professional you are, the more loungy you wear.
Yeah.
So if you have a wedding photographer come and he's in shorts and t-shirt, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's been doing 50 a year.
A 3-piece suit with like leather camera straps.
He does 3 a year. That's the difference.
Yeah. Look at this. Organised.
Wow.
I do.
I just want to say one more subscription that I did see the other night.
Yeah, there we go.
It was a Philips razor.
Yeah.
And it was £7 a month. What? And I went on Amazon for this razor, this electric razor. You can buy the thing outright for 20 quid.
I don't understand
subscriptions.
That. razors and like toothbrushes. Like it's not the thing. It's like the blades and the heads.
But imagine your outgoings on your direct debits, etc. And you've got bloody Philips razors, and you've got your toothbrush, and you've got your Netflix and
Amazon. No, like
where does it end?
Everything you buy, there's an option just like subscribe and say like they'll almost let you form your own subscription of toiletries for the month because you can save 5 or 10% or 15%.
Yeah,
the market is mad, and I think it's that convenience. And I'm a nightmare. Like some things I forget, I'm gutted because you're flying around the country and like you make the most lists and you try and be so organized, but you always forget something.
Did you Amazon don't advertise this anymore, but they used to do product buttons. So you would have this button, like for example, in your bathroom, and every time you press it, it would be linked to a specific product on Amazon.
Really?
So you push the button and it would order you more toilet roll.
What?
So if you ran out of toilet roll, or if you could see there's only one thing left, you push the button, and then it would then connect to your Amazon account and it would order the replacement.
That's mad.
And you could have literally hundreds of buttons around the house.
I know they had like quick buy on the website where literally like once you signed in, you press it and like there's no checkout. It's like it's coming. Yeah. Someone's already picking it for you.
Dangerous.
But, yeah.
What's on the list?
So business wise, Sunday, I shared it with Hannah from Tiny Rebel about my brain dump. Mm. And that's kind of the most effective way for me to start a week. And again, it's just Sunday night, just offload everything, think of things. Even if you think as soon as you're going to work Monday morning, you're going to do them, just create this massive list. And then like Monday morning, you set up, and I'm the worst person in the world. Like my week changes within an hour. We might get an inquiry and it's like, we need this, can you come out now? And all of a sudden things get moved around and we have to change production or squeeze stuff in or move stuff or delay stuff. So this brain dump kind of just formulates a list, and then you organize a list. So this now for the podcast, it's like, okay, so people have actually started messaging us, haven't they? Mm-hmm. On Instagram, a couple of people on LinkedIn, and just being like, can you talk about this? Or like, what would you do with this? And I was like, do you know what? Let's
accumulate these.
Let's level up again. We'll get a little jingle made or something. After this, we'll make it and we'll be like, questions with Craig and Ollie. But not that cheesy. Probably a bit more question time.
We should do like the movies.
Yeah. Get a little...
but I can't do a very deep voice.
Maybe like a steel drum band in the corner when we'll record it. Probably a bit ambitious, but anyway, that's the plan. We'll get a little jingle. And I want to encourage more of it, because I was like, when people can say like, what would you do in my position? And like, me and you are just us, but some questions we'll answer on the duo episodes. Yep. And I reckon some of them we'll take them to a guest, or we'll save them to a certain guest.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I was like, not surprised. I was loving it. I was like, this is what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? And if people are interested in our opinion of it, whether it's right or wrong or controversial, we'll talk about it and we'll discuss it. So the episode, and the duo episode, is now going to have a couple of new segments, which I think actually gives it a bit of structure.
Sounds good.
Which actually just elevates it a little bit more. So have
we got anything for this week?
We got
question time.
Question time. So someone said, we won't do names just because I have a feeling we're going to go off topic quite a lot.
I'm going to go off topic already.
Okay.
Do you remember when you were in school, did you have to like listen to the cassettes when you did tests?
Yeah.
And you do it in like the gymnasium and the gym. What am I on about?
Gymnasium.
Or you do it in like the assembly hall, and they played the tape, and then they'd be like, question 1.
Yeah.
Do you remember
And then there'd be like a 2-second pause and be like, question 2.
Yeah.
What is 4 times 6 minus 2 and the pi root of square 12?
Yeah.
Don't know what that is.
Or it'd be like, Wendy has gone to the shop.
Yeah. With 20p, Wendy wants 4 apples.
Yeah.
She buys 5 apples. How much money does she have left?
They can't still do that.
I don't know. That's funny, because Wendy's actually got in touch with us.
That was a nice way to...
transition there. So here's an interesting question. I feel like this could very easily just be the whole episode, just answering questions. So let's be a professional interrupter, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so should I worry about entering awards with high ticket costs? I like that.
I'll let you answer this one, since I've never gone for an award.
So this is a weird one. So you have really good awards, and I think the best person we can point you to is like Dylan and Fran.
Yeah.
Like Startup Awards, Fast Growth 50, so that kind of network, like with a true meaning. And I hope if you listen to this, you listen to Dylan's episode and you like, he cares so much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then on the flip, and also there's a massive cost to these events. So imagine you're hiring out the depot in Cardiff and you're running events, and obviously you don't pay to enter it, but then if you want to go, you pay for the tickets for the venue. I've paid anything from £30 to £100 a ticket.
Okay.
And £100 a lot. Mm-hmm. So my advice would be, what's the value for you?
Yeah.
Because basically, if you're entering an award, my advice would be like, what do you want to gain from it? Do you want to be a finalist, or do you want to try and actually win it? And is the category actually great for you? The best award we've ever won as a company, we won the Startup Awards with Dylan, and we won the Creative Startup of the Year.
See, those to me immediately would be meaningful, impactful. But I do know a lot of companies who regularly show up and claim awards.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name, but certain magazines that run, and it's basically pay to win.
Yeah.
You just pay the fee, and if you're on the books, then you win an award by default.
Yeah. I think a lot, like, we can't name, or like I can't even think of companies to name that are the wrong ones and the good ones. But I'd say just look at maybe not your competitors. Look at other companies that you look at and you aspire and you watch on social media.
Yeah.
And see maybe what their accolades are. There's a lot of rubbish. The actual advice is there's a lot of rubbish ones out there.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if it's free to enter and then it's £400 a ticket, it's probably just more about the money than the award.
It's a business in itself.
Yeah. Don't pay more than £100 a ticket for the best award in your area.
No.
That's my advice.
But I think things like the Startup Awards, something like that, I would really feel proud to win.
Yeah.
Where a magazine-based one, I probably wouldn't be very proud to win that one.
Yeah.
And actually, is that going to really help my business at the same time?
Yeah.
Because does a customer care that I've won X magazine award?
Probably not,
You know?
unless it's actually a magazine which is
relative to your industry,
like a wedding magazine.
Yeah,
or,
absolutely.
I think there's magazines is almost not the title, but if it's relevant, do it. Look at what everyone else is doing, what they've won, and also just ask the questions.
Yeah.
And then I think the final thing to end that question is, what are you getting for that £100? Like, because it's not about, obviously you want to win, you want to be there, but is anyone else in that room going to be giving you value? Is it going to be at the Celtic Manor? Mm-hmm. Probably. Is it going to be at Holiday Inn Express near the side of a motorway? Yeah. So what, do you know what I mean? If it's more at the Holiday Inn, it's probably a company who are trying to make money. Whereas if it's at an event,
if it's something a bit more prestigious,
if it's a venue that's going to cost a lot more to hire, I think that's
a good telltale.
So first question answered.
Thank you, Wendy.
Quite quickly. Okay, you can answer this one, Craig. Ready?
Go on then.
How should I grow my network to help my business?
Do you know what's really helped me personally?
Yeah.
Is networking, but effectively networking.
Okay.
This doesn't just mean showing up every week and giving a business update. This means showing up and interacting with people. This means listening to the other people in the room and finding a niche for yourself, finding an opportunity for yourself. Like, I like to think I'm quite clever with networking now. When I first started, it was showing up for the social. But as time goes on now, obviously time becomes more precious the more successful you become in business.
Yeah.
And actually when I go now and I'm listening to the updates around the room, we've said many times, I'm quite naive to the news. I don't really listen to the news. And for me, my way of getting up to date is by going to a weekly networking event.
Yeah.
And when people talk about their pain points, I'm thinking, how can I adapt my services to help them?
Yeah.
And actually, in doing so, when we go around the room, most days now, every time I go to these events, I hear my name brought up a lot. And I've been working with Craig, and actually, we've been doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And that's not by coincidence. Well, like I've made that happen.
Yeah. Is there any warning signs? Is it a bit like the awards question? Is there'll be networking companies out there that cost a lot? Because I know some of them naturally just cost a lot, but then I also know some people that go to these. Again, not naming, but there's networking events that cost a lot more than the ones we attend, probably 10 times more than the ones we attend. But they're
I
actually
don't think
really
there's any problem in naming these, actually.
Yeah.
Because they're all different and they all bring different value. Like,
so BNI.
BNI, that is to a lot of people very off-putting because it's so regimented.
Yeah.
They have like a traffic light system, and for a BNI member, you have to bring people, you have to give up time, you have to do one-to-ones, you have to do all the online tuition that they offer on the platform, you have to show up, and if you don't, you get penalized.
Yeah. But then on the flip side of that, if you do all of those things, I know a couple of people in BNIs and they absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And
for that reason, they absolutely love it, and they probably bring home minimum 50,000 just from attending once a week.
But you've got to put the effort in.
Yeah.
But then I think whether it's BNI or whether it's a local networking event.
But that's true of everything.
Yeah. If you put everything into it, you're going to get more out, whether you're paying £150 for a networking group a year or whether you're paying like £1,500. But then I feel something like BNI, if everyone's in that mindset, only good things are going to come of it.
Yeah.
But everyone in that room has to accept this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
But it's not for everyone.
I see both sides of it. The only reason I'm not a member of a BNI and I'm regularly chased to attend a certain BNI.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to one next Tuesday, and I've been asked to sub one in April. So I can't say I don't attend them.
Yeah.
it's just the commitment to going every week. And if you don't show up, you get the slap on the wrist, and having someone to step in for you. And it's not always easy to find somebody.
Yeah.
Because the nature of what I do, very often the night before, I could get a call and be like, we need you here in the morning. And
you're like me.
I'm not going to say no to that, am I?
Best intentions, you want to be there, but actually, like, I've got a paid job in London.
Absolutely.
You grow in your business at the end of the day.
And if I had a team of me and it was more than one, then obviously I could send them to sub for me when I was away. But
what's the point in being away working and then sending a sub every week of like a friend? It's like that's not beneficial to your business.
Because when Ollie goes, people buy into Ollie, the relationships with Ollie.
Yeah.
Only Ollie's going to be able to sell that product.
Yeah. And I could send Nick, my operations manager, and he'd probably really enjoy the breakfast, and he'd do a good job of saying what we've been up to.
No doubt.
But he's not sales.
But at the same time, if it wasn't Ollie coming and he's the one who signed up and he's the owner of the business, it doesn't look very good either, does it?
No, 100%. You almost feel like anything you do in life, anything you do in business, you got to. The reason why it works is because you throw 100% into it.
That's it.
I got one more which I forgot to put on my list.
Okay.
I'm going to get it direct off Instagram now.
Straight off the gram.
It was a late one when I was doing my prep. Okay, here we are.
But the truest said of anything, to answer that question, like whether it be BNI or any other networking event, or if you go to, or even on Instagram or LinkedIn, the more you do it, the more engagement you'll get and the better the result.
100%. So here we go. Hey, I love listening to your podcast. I would love to hear episodes about what it's like to expand your business, hidden costs, things you need to know when it comes to looking at premises and when it comes to hiring staff. As someone who's rented space within a salon and always worked on my own, I'd love to know the keys, do's and don'ts when it comes to branching out into my own place and look at hiring staff. Great question, though.
Very, very rounded question.
I feel like there's quite a few things. Okay, so
I feel like we should get a guest on to answer that in its entirety, to give it what it's actually deserving of.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people curious on how they can branch off and do their own thing.
I feel like there's about 5 questions in there.
Yeah.
So I think
let's answer one of them.
We'll answer one of them. And
we'll get a guest on to answer the others.
Okay. Good point. Well presented. So, okay, let's talk about hidden costs.
Yeah. So if I talk about me having this space and running the business, hidden costs immediately.
So when you rent a space, whether it's office space or business space, I think the easiest thing to think of it is, can you afford to run another house?
Yeah.
And how big of a house can you afford to run as well as your own?
I was literally just going to compare it to owning a house.
Yeah.
Because actually what we pay rent for the space that we're currently sat in, you can almost double it in terms of utility bills on top of that.
Yeah. It's the wild, wild west is utilities.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening that wants to take away this kind of info, so domestically in your home, like there's a lot more regulation. Commercially, they can literally charge you what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Is the sentence. We'll clip it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can get absolutely penalised, and it's very hard to ballpark, especially now. It's like, I literally had a letter this morning from an energy supplier at home saying, it's going to be £54 a year more. Mm-hmm. But the rate of the kilowatt is up minimal, just gradually going up, which is a lot of bollocks anyway. But the standing charge is like doubling.
Yeah.
And then I think so it's absolutely nothing to do with supply anymore. It's just purely making money.
We had a bill come through from a previous energy provider, someone we haven't been with for 6 months.
Yeah.
And that was 300 quid. Like, where's that come from?
Yeah, that's mad.
That is a hidden cost.
So,
and then business rates.
Business rates, bloody hell. We could talk, I think that's a whole episode in itself, isn't it?
Like, I didn't even think we were applicable for business rates given the size of our room, but actually apparently we're like a few feet over where we need to be, and therefore we are now applicable to business rates. Yeah. Which,
do you know who we'll get on? We'll get Dan on from M4 Property. So really Dan's good. Like a commercial property expert, basically. So he can give us, because we're talking about this and we might be saying something's wrong. And if people are actually asking us, I want to make sure we get them the best information.
Someone on who's the expert.
But essentially in a business, you pay your rent, you don't pay council tax, you pay business rates. And that's based on the size of your premises. So a good example of that is, why is there loads of empty shops on the high street?
Yeah.
There's loads of empty shops on the high street because they've probably got a basement, which is bigger than the shop, which they don't use. They've got another level, which is bigger than the shop, which they don't need.
And then you're then hit with crippling business rates.
And you pay per square foot. So if you've got a 10,000, if your shop is 2,000 square foot, like visible retail, you pay on the whole building. So essentially, if your shop's 2,000 square foot, but actually your building's 8,000 square foot, you're paying 6,000 square foot worth of business rates. Mm-hmm. And just bringing it back to small business rates, so you can get your head around like this hidden cost. So this business rate, aka council tax, aka rip-off, if you have a unit, I don't know whether this is why we get down on. I think about 1,000 square foot, you're exempt from. Anything over that, you then pay business rates for. Obviously, we've got business rates at our unit. It's all down to the size of the unit.
Yep.
And depending where it is, etc. If it's private land, it's a bit different. But yeah, it's a minefield, and there's loads of other hidden costs.
Imagine Debenhams.
That's why it's empty.
Yeah.
This is why there's so many.
Divvied up.
This is why there's so many big shops empty. The other hidden costs are service charge, and again, like if you have an apartment, and it's almost like you just need to do so much due diligence, and actually that time that it takes to find out all these things, someone's probably jumped the gun, and they might not have done that word.
We were doing so well. Due diligence.
Sounded so professional. But yeah, do your due diligence. Ask around. Find like local experts. And service charge, insurances, and basically you're dictated to by the landlord. So just make sure you've got all them figures in front of you.
Do you know there's so much like co-working space available now, so many offices available.
Yeah.
And the people getting you into these spaces will tell you it's amazing and everyone loves it here and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because there's some really cool ones that have opened up recently locally as well.
Yeah.
Actually just knock on the doors and speak to the people who are there.
Yeah.
And get the insight from them, because there was...
What does it actually cost you for your desk?
Yeah, before we moved into this space, we spoke to another location, which I won't disclose.
Yeah.
And we were told, it's amazing here, it's up and coming, there's so many things happening. And then we knocked a few doors and they said, yeah, we're moving out.
That's mad.
They won't let us have the heating on. That was just like one of the examples.
Yeah.
So actually we'd have been paying 4 times as much as what we're paying here, and actually we wouldn't have been very happy.
Yeah. I think shop around. New stuff's always going to cost more than old buildings.
Yeah.
Old buildings might have larger service charges. Spend, if you think you're going to do it in 6 months, like now is your time to start doing all your due diligence. We'll ask Dan if he'll come on and kind of explain from anything from small to absolutely large.
I'm sure there's loads of different charges he'll be able to ramble on.
And he's probably said what you've said wrong, but anyway, we try our best. Topics with Craig and Ollie.
That was good for this week.
I feel as though
be improved on.
That's it. So we talked about energy bills. That's mental. I feel as though there's no reason now. Nothing crazy's happened. I say nothing's crazy's happened. They're talking about putting the interest rate up again.
Well, it's already gone up.
Okay.
From 4% to 4.25.
Jesus Christ, our Lord Saviour.
Yeah. When everything was looking like it was about to come back down again, it's gone up.
That's mad. And that's the base rate, isn't it?
That's the base rate. So everything will have a knock-on effect from there.
What do you think the reasoning is?
Honestly, I don't know anymore. I used to be able to say, it's related to the war and such, or it's related to this and the COVID pandemic. And actually, what is it now?
That's our finance guest, Matt Bird.
Yeah.
He's going to tell us about interest rates and investments. On the other side of that, though, I saw an article that's saying that like sales in retail have actually gone up. And I feel like everyone's done now. Everyone wants to get back to a bit of like face-to-face shopping.
Sure.
So that's a great thing. I feel that sometimes you want to shop online, but then sometimes you want to have a wander. But then also people just want to have a wander all day, don't they? So
my mum does it. She will literally go to Cardiff for the whole day.
Just walk around M&S.
She'll come back with like 1 or 2 bags, tops.
Had a day out.
Doesn't like where I'm very much, I'm going into Cardiff, I'm going to park here.
Yeah.
And
because I need something.
And I'm going to go to this shop and I'm going to buy this item. And if they haven't got it, then I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Done.
Have you heard of a company called Amigo Loans? They had like a crazy like Mexican advert on TV.
Okay.
And it was like, so they're going bust.
Right.
And this is a company that, you know, like when they're on TV, you just think like they're just absolutely exploiting people. So like you'd go on their website and you'd get a loan. This is just kind of from what I've seen and then seeing them going bust in the news because they haven't got any capital left. But their interest rate is like fucking 420%.
Oh, is it like a payday loan sort of thing?
Yeah.
Like was it Wonga back in the day?
Yeah, literally like it's like a Mexican Wonga Amigo loan. So like the crazy like interesting adverts, and then at the bottom it's like the interest rate. So they're done.
Yeah. I used to know someone who took out a Wonga loan for a night out, had no money but wanted to go out for the sesh.
Wonga.
Took out a £500 loan for this night out.
Yeah.
Didn't pay it, and when he was meant to pay it back, and actually it doubled.
What?
So the loan went from £500 to £1,000. And then obviously because of how much he was making, he was only a call handler, so couldn't actually afford to pay that back either. and then it snowballed to £1,500.
It almost just doesn't stop kind of thing.
Within like 3 to 4 months, it was that £500 debt was like £3,000.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
And how many people were like him? So when they go bust, then what? You don't. Everyone's laughing. You don't have to pay the loan back. And then I think like someone's going to buy that company.
I imagine they sold the debt, right?
I reckon they must buy the company for like £1.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you'll get a letter and be like, yeah, we want our £7,000 back.
I would have thought there would have been some collections company that would buy the debts and then they would then start collecting themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's a business in itself.
It's mad though, isn't it? The thing I'm seeing everywhere at the moment is videos of Boris Johnson talking about the parties at number 10.
How is this still going on?
Do you know what? The first video I saw of it, I was like, I thought this was all done. And he's like talking about what he remembers and what he got advised. And like, you're looking at him and just thinking like, you just need to admit what you know.
Why wouldn't you?
I thought it was sorted and he's like...
Look, I don't know one person who stuck to the rules 100%.
Yeah.
So actually, just come on TV, admit what you've done, let's move on.
Tell us how good the party was,
yeah.
No? Tell us how good the party was. And he's like referencing like a Friday afternoon 2 years ago where
cheese and wine when we all sat down one evening.
Yeah, where he was like, everyone was working so hard. It's like, oh, we justified the party.
Yeah.
So
has this come out because of all these leaked messages? Is that part of it?
I don't know if it's just like they've just got round to actually, he's in a room like talking to other MPs about it, like all official. And it's like, yeah, Matt Hancock's messages, I've seen loads of it and I'm like, what's true?
Yeah,
and what's not true? Are people just making up?
People doctoring the actual conversations, and then you just don't know if it's been taken.
If what you're saying is true, it's
factual
mad.
Or
how do you even get? I thought WhatsApp was encrypted.
I don't know. I honestly, I've all I saw was the headline on Twitter, and that's as much as I read into it.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought,
and then I saw like some print screens of a WhatsApp conversation, but as you said, they would be quite easy to doctor those sorts of things. Yeah. And it was like him and an advisor talking about how COVID is just a big scam, basically.
I thought it was all safe.
Netflix one day, I'm sure that I keep saying it, but I'm sure they'll put together this documentary and they'll do the entire timeline from day one to current day, and that would be amazing.
And the worst thing is, Boris and Matt won't even be MPs by then. They'll both get paid.
Yeah,
it'd be like the whole Harry and Meghan thing. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll get a massive documentary. No one will care about the truth. Everyone will just sit at home, have some cheese and wine, and just laugh about the whole thing.
Yeah,
but actually hate them at the same time.
South Park actually did an episode of Harry and Meghan recently.
Really?
Yeah, I don't watch South Park.
I didn't watch South Park existed now. They still make it.
Still goes.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Do you see them things? And just made me think then. You know the Simpsons?
Yeah.
How they predict fucking everything.
The future.
How do they do it?
What's his name? Matt something? Growing? I don't know what it is. Matt something. Anyway, they reckon he's like
they have like
time
dates.
lord.
Yeah, they have like dates and stuff in the episodes all subliminally, and then like 5 years later.
Or is it just that they've done so many episodes and so many seasons on so many variables and consequences and situations that actually they probably would just cover a handful of things by coincidence?
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? So let's wrap it up. Next week is the end of the financial year for a lot of people, including myself.
I'm still doing my accounts.
Still doing. Are you April? I'm April. One of my businesses is January, December, but Hollywood is April, yeah. So yeah, that's fun. People saying, "Oh, can we invoice you?
Yeah.
Can you do something? What do you want us to do? We'll just raise a PO.
Yeah, we'll get back to you.
Yeah,
I've had that.
We've got underspend.
We'll pay this now, and then we'll do it in the summer.
Yeah, that's kind of
which is amazing now. Yeah. But then in the summer, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, cash flow is always really good in April.
Do you know, just another pain point as well, not even relating to end of year.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring this up previously. As a photographer and a creator in this industry, what I have noticed is I don't know why, it stopped for a long time, but on recent projects, you will create something beautiful, photo or video, and you deliver it to the client and they put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they put an Instagram filter over it. Why?
Is this when you've actually gone to the effort of
when you spend so much time to shoot the image and then grade the image, and they've put the Paris filter over it, I can see exactly what these people have done because they I don't know what it is.
Is this just a massive annoyance though? Because we make loads of we make all kinds of stuff, do all kinds of shot fittings, etc. And sometimes you think you've finished a job, and again it comes back to like the photo, and it's like, and then just for example, we make a bespoke unit for a shop, and then you see a picture on Instagram and they've literally filled it with so much crap. You can't even see what we've built.
Yeah.
And you think, what are you doing?
The vision's gone.
But yeah, it must be annoying when you we take the time to create good content, and then it's like, what filter shall I use?
Yeah, sometimes though, when they add the filter, it looks so bad.
Doesn't look professional.
That I don't even want people to tag me in it.
Okay.
People
put the
then tag me in it.
What?
And I'm like, nah.
Oh, thanks, Craig. Thanks for the advice on the filters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'll grade it for you, post it as it is, and if you don't like it...
Do you tell them that, like, obviously you can see, anyone who knows it.
It's already been billed, paid, and it's out the window at that point, but...
Just what?
Stop using filters on professional images.
Yeah, otherwise, because it really hurts.
Because I just think, like, imagine a piece of art. You wouldn't chuck a filter over that, would you?
No.
Or you shouldn't.
Yeah, I think it's just... Is it an appreciation, or is it just... Does everyone assume that everything needs a filter?
What? I bring it up for a valid reason, because it's an insecurity, right?
Yeah.
Because it's always going to be a photo of somebody. Mm-hmm. It's never like a picture of a vehicle or a house that you would put a filter on. It would be a photo of somebody.
Yeah.
And it's an insecurity. And I don't raise that to dig. I raise it actually because just accept who we are, and that's all. Let's just be happy in our own skin.
I agree.
Positive message.
On that note, I think it's a wrap. Let's close the play.
Close the play.
Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thank you again. And keep the questions coming in, please.
Keep the questions going in. Let us know what we're going to chat about. And also, we will get the guests coming in. We've got some absolutely amazing episodes in the bag. Some really good guests coming up.
Yep.
And just that great mix of local to national to international. That's what we're working our ass off to create for you. We hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your mother. Tell your dog or your cat. Let's close the play.
Till next week.
Take it easy.
Take care, guys.